That's good.
You want me to come over there?
No, just stay where you are. It's just fine.
David Arquette's coming. I can't tell you how frustrated I am.
It's
Why? You don't like him?
why not you?
David Arquette, what's going on, man?
Good to see you.
How are you?
How are you?
How's it going?
Good, buddy. How you doing? Good,
How are
good, good.
you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
David Arquette. Welcome to the show, man.
Want your muffin?
Thanks a lot. No, all right.
What has your schedule been like today?
Not too bad. This is my first stop.
Isn't it nice when the first stop is after 10 a.m.?
Yes.
There's nothing worse than, I mean, I got to do it on the road too. Morning press, and you're like, you see that your publicist sent you the first one, 6:45. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
How do you get a publicist?
What's that? you pay him.
Money, yeah.
So, did your publicist do a lot for you, or are there times where you don't have one?
I put my publicist on and off depending on when I need.
If you got to
one.
promote something.
Yeah. Or then if some scandal breaks, then she'll call me up.
Well,
I'm like, okay,
Did you
I
ever
gotta clean some shit up for you.
Did you ever enlist one? Because they have PR people who do this damage control. Like with Weinstein's got like apparently an amazing one now that is obviously there's nothing they can do.
Right, yeah, they're leaving by the...
Have you had to hire anybody or ever like?
No, not really. I sort of I do my own damage. There's no control about it.
It's just damage.
I don't know. I kind of make my own trouble, but you know, I've dealt with my stuff. Now I'm like, I go to sleep early. You know, I don't mind waking up early doing stuff.
Your publicist is getting pissed because she's like, it used to be like every 3 months there'd be something I could call you for and milk you out of some more dough, but there's nothing to clean up.
Nothing to clean up anymore.
Did you ever have those times though where you feel like, oh no, I fucked up, and it's not going to stop. This bad vibe is not going to stop. This negative stuff coming towards me is going to continue and just roll me over.
Yeah, I mean that's I've been to rehab twice and just sort of that whole thing. So, you gotta you dig your own grave, really. You know what I mean? It's usually your actions that are leading to all this crap anyway. So,
how did people receive you when you came out? Because normally in Hollywood, especially if you screw up and you kind of make good, people are pretty forgiving, especially about like drug and alcohol stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Kind of have to own it, and you have to sort of, figure it out for yourself. I'm not like the sober guy because I'm not sober now, but I've got everything sort of. I've dealt with what I had to like the underlying issues that led me to sort of escapism.
Okay.
And then what do you have to like kind of rebuild the reputation so you can prove to people like, no, he's a responsible dude, like we can count on him, because that's what it is at the end of the day.
But a lot of the time you burn a lot of bridges along the way, and it's kind of like you miss opportunities and
you end up with a podcast.
What's that?
I said you end up with a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you? Do you feel like you've burnt bridges like that? Yeah, I feel like you're generally these days not like the kind of wild dude that you were at one point.
No, but it just sort of like at the peak times of your career, it's. Make the right moves so that you can, do the right kind of movies that you want to do.
Does that haunt you at all? Like when you go like, if I just made if I had done something different after Scream or this one or that one, then I'd be over here.
Yeah.
Or do you not think about it?
No, I think about it sometimes. You go to like something like La La Land and you're like, oh, I wish I could have a role like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, have you turned any down that were like that? Because there are people that turn them down or they're too difficult and they get someone else. There was a couple of stories of people on La La Land that they originally wanted for it that didn't do it.
Yeah.
Are there any that you look at like, fuck, I shouldn't have turned that down?
Yeah, I was supposed to go up for Arrested Development and they were really interested in meeting me. I was like, I'm too young to be a dad at the time. It was like one of the worst moves ever.
Yeah, once in a while, I guess you can't tell though. Like if you had done it, would it have been? Sometimes you wonder. Like Harvey Keitel was shooting Apocalypse Now,
yeah,
and it's like, would it have been Apocalypse Now with Harvey Keitel?
And it didn't do that much good for Jason Bateman, right? It didn't completely rebuild his career or anything like that.
Exactly. No, but I love Jason, so I'm happy for him. But yeah, you never know. I worked with Harvey Keitel once. That was a trip. It was called The Gray Zone, and he played a Nazi, and we played a bunch of Jewish prisoners, but we were also sort of like these soldiers that like fooled the Jews into going into the gas chamber, so we were like bad Jews. But he didn't talk to us for like 2 months of filming. We were in the same hotel. We were at the same restaurants. They're like, you can't talk to him. You can't look at him.
Is that a method acting
It
thing?
was a
Because he was
method
playing a
acting
Nazi
thing
and
for
you were playing
him.
Jews, right?
Yeah.
Either that or he's just an asshole and he's blaming it on method acting. He's like, yeah, it's for the character. Whatever you got to tell him.
He was awesome. On the last day after he rapped, then we all had dinner together. He was a great guy.
Oh, you did get yes. Those method
Finally.
actors. It's got to suck if you're like talking like a guy like Harvey that you want to talk to and you just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go like if I was in that scenario and like had a great time with him the last night, I'd be like, oh shit, I wish I'd been a Nazi in this movie instead of because then I could have hung out with him the whole time.
The first time you ever say that, I wish I was a Nazi.
Yeah.
Did he talk in a German accent in it, or did he kind of just do it like?
In the movie, yeah, he had like this slight German accent or a pretty strong German accent. Yeah, it was intense. It was like sick movie. It's crazy.
And how is your sister doing? Because now she's kind of in the story of Harvey
The
Weinstein.
Weinstein story, yeah,
and
Rosanna.
as a brother, did you know that before, or what was, or did you?
A little bit, yeah. I kind of knew, I knew like, just like that kind of vibe. But I'm really proud of my sister for coming out and all the women that sort of stood up and it's sad. It's unfortunate. It happens more than people think. It's this is kind of the tip of the iceberg. I mean, Trump, to be honest with you, was one of those kind of guys that had a similar kind of reputation, and a bunch of people do. So, I don't know.
So, did it hurt her career at all to have refused him, or no?
I don't know. I mean, I feel you'd have to ask her, but I think she kind of felt that way.
Can you call her?
Do you
Should we call her?
do you know what like do you know what hurts your career, or do you just notice at some point you're like, oh fuck, I pissed somebody off somewhere because
Right.
Or do you ever know exactly like that was what it was, or just okay, I obviously pissed somebody off at some point because
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, there's you could trace some of it back, and then you don't know, and like you've worked with some people, and then you never work with them again, or you don't hear from them. Whatever. Sometimes you could trace it back.
Yeah. With Harvey Weinstein, it was just like there was a vibe about him that people kind of knew, or did people really know like this dude is a fucking creep?
I don't know, like all this stuff, you kind of hear stuff throughout the little stories, so I don't know. Everyone's
But it's
got
all
their
rumors
issues. I'm
and-
glad he's getting help, and I don't want to sort of pile on the.
Well, how do
Harvey hate
things?
train.
Because people always go, "Hey, how come no one speaks up?" But
Right.
but isn't it like that? Nobody gets into a room and no one has like a real discussion in front of 50 people. It's just like little things that you hear here and there,
Yeah.
and then you forget about it, and then someone else says it. You're like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah,
but if he
wild nights and who knows, like what the hell's going on? There's a lot of crazy shit that happens in Hollywood in general.
Are you afraid of him though? Like, could he hurt you? Are you afraid that he could still hurt you?
No, I'm not. I'm not afraid of. I once got in a fight with him.
You got into a fight with Harvey
I
Weinstein?
once almost did. Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Because I'd seen him, I had this club at the time called Beecher's Madhouse. They were doing the premiere of Black Swan there. And I just ran into him. I was fucking wasted at the time. I was like one of my bad moments in life. So he was acting like he didn't know me. And I was like, I did Scream for, Dimension, which made them a ton of fucking money. I was like, hey, Harvey, it's David Arquette. He's like, hey, David, I don't know. I think it was some of the stories I'd heard in the past. And so I just kind of got all up in his face. And then my partner was like, David, what are you doing?
What are you, crazy?
Yeah. It wasn't a pretty scene. So
But he
they
hadn't
kind of
actually-
moved me out of there. And then
he
I
hadn't
was
actually-
dancing and fell into the pool. It was an ugly night.
So you were a confrontation. It was one
He
of
hadn't
those.
actually done anything though.
Yeah, it was one
Well,
of
he
those.
acted like he didn't know who the fuck I was, and
Right.
his ego
Disrespected
bruised
you.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fucking Harvey, you made you fucking
In front of your partner. Now, when you say partner,
business partner."
oh, okay.
Sorry, not my gay lover.
No, you're remarried, right?
I am remarried. Yes,
Right.
Kids?
Right.
but my partner's still very upset about it.
Yeah, that had to piss
I
off
have
that
two new
dude.
kids. Yeah. That was part of the reason I was going to beat up Harvey. He wanted to take a shower with my boyfriend.
Is there a certain amount of it that's tolerated? Like, because actresses don't seem so sensitive that, like, if one guy hits on them, they fall apart. Like, is there a certain amount of it they're like, all right, we expect a producer once in a while is going to ask you out, but then once it goes past that point of just asking, it becomes, all right, this is fucked up.
Yeah, I think this is going to be I think there's a lot of, like, there's the whole woke thing. Like, people are waking up to a lot of stuff going on in general with health, with, behaviors, with sort of what's going on in the world. So I think that's what's happening. I think, and it takes a lot of people, like, working on themselves. You know, when you get to a certain age, if you haven't, like, really addressed these serious issues in your life, they're going to keep coming back and causing trouble. So I think it's just a matter of, like, I'm glad people are talking about it. I'm glad it's getting out there. I'm glad, there's a dialogue happening, because there's a lot of gray area, and there's a lot of, like, workplace weirdness. And
So is the Hollywood scene, like, not the same scene anymore where a David Arquette type could get drunk, threaten an executive, and fall in the pool? Like, that doesn't happen.
hurt my career at all.
It didn't, right?
You think that stuff like that does hurt? Yeah,
It does, yeah.
I don't think it's a good look.
Because it's irrational drunken behavior. Like, sometimes you'll, like, a guy will say something, you'll be like, you motherfucker, Harvey.
Yeah, completely. It was out of left field. It should have been like, congratulations, Harvey. The movie's incredible.
Yeah,
Thanks
this
for
movie's
throwing your
Black
premiere
Swan.
at our club.
I was in fucking Scream.
It's like,
I'm Dewey! You mother...
I'm doing. It's his night. It's his movie.
Yeah.
It's your club. Like, there's
Yeah.
supposed to be some kind of professional, like,
Yeah, I completely
something.
blew it.
Yeah, that's
It
What
was
did you do with
moronic
Beecher's Madhouse? That was a comedy
Yes.
thing with Jeff Beecher, and I
He started-
performed there.
he started-
that was the original, yeah.
I
New York.
bombed
I mean, in
Vegas. I bombed. So me and Bobby Kelly did it. I fucking ate my dick at that Beecher's Madhouse
You
so
did?
bad. Oh,
But it's probably a tough room. Like, it's not set up for...
comedy? No, there's
Yeah.
a sword swallower, and then me, ironically, and then fucking, and then Bob, and then Ice-T was in the front, and I remember I was just fucking
He started in New
tanking.
York with that thing, and then he moved it to Vegas.
Was that New
Yeah.
York that started?
Yeah, he started in New York. It was, I don't know, but that thing in Vegas, it's like remember we used to do the boxcar?
Yeah.
It's like that.
He would promote the shit out of that though, and always
Yeah,
get
he's a good
people for
promoter.
it. So you were with him before or after that?
Yeah, before. And then I moved on and started a different club called Bootsy Bellows in Los Angeles.
What was Bootsy Bellows?
Bootsy Bellows is a nightclub again, but we have puppets there. It's pretty crazy. We have big rap acts a lot of the time and stuff like that.
Oh, you guys are still open.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
so-
about to open in Dallas. We have one in Aspen.
Oh,
Who are
awesome.
some of the bigger acts that you've had in?
Just sort of all the top rappers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Drake's been there and all that.
So when you
awesome.
open a club, like all of a sudden it changes. Like, okay, you're an actor. Now all of a sudden you're a club owner with a liquor license. Like, is this whole bunch of like insurances and pressures? Like, how do you focus on acting when you got to worry about all this other shit?
Well, I have great partners with the H-Wood group. These guys, Brian and John, and they handle a lot of that stuff. I'm more like the, help promote it, bring
The name
people there,
partner.
have fun,
So when you're getting
play
like,
with puppets.
when you're in your darker periods where you're getting like fucked up, but you're owning clubs, like, are your partners like, David, this isn't your playground, you got to calm down? Or is that part of the appeal? Like, you could come to our club and our cat's getting fucked up over here. And that's,
It wasn't a little point, but then there's the tipping point, and then
Yeah.
it gets way too crazy, and you do something, and then you end up having to call and apologize to people. Yeah, it's a hard balancing act, but if you can figure it out, if you do it right, and you're responsible about everything. It's all about balance, ultimately, anyway, for me.
Do you find is it hard to keep it balanced? Like, sometimes life is hard to be balanced, especially when you're known and you can kind of do whatever you want within reason and you can get away with a lot. It's hard to stay balanced.
I think when you get older, I don't know. I'm feeling like getting older has been like pretty,
Yeah, but
making it a lot more manageable. You know what I mean? Like, don't you feel like you've addressed a lot of your issues? And
He's been laughing at my midlife crisis because I'm 49.
it's
Oh,
the
man, I've
best.
had several.
But it's not. I don't want to go out and do crazy things because I've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's like now you just want to come.
Jim's midlife crisis is like he turned 49, right? And all of a sudden, like he's looking at 50, and instead of doing like, oh, I never got that Corvette. Oh, you know, I stopped drinking when I was 18. I got to start getting fucked up. I got to start doing coke. He's like, you know, I really want a girlfriend. You know, I always said I didn't want to get married, but you know, I don't know. Kids could be kind of fun. Like it's the
Wow,
total
that's
opposite.
It's completely the opposite. It's
By
like
the way, it's amazing life.
Well, but wait, when you
Kids like totally my second round of kids. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and now I have 2 young ones, boys, and it's the best thing.
but
in the world.
once you go into rehab, obviously you cross that fine line from social use to addiction.
Yeah.
How do you come back and be a social drinker or party? Because both of us are in recovery.
Right.
is it
right.
hard to answer
Yeah,
this
you know.
question from a man wearing that hat?
You wear a Black Lives Matter shirt.
By the way, Jim, you missed a moment ago.
No.
Voss just fell out of his
I got a
chair.
cramp in my leg.
While David was talking,
I got
Voss
a-
slid out of his
I
chair.
got a cramp.
He went like this.
But you know, because I always hear you listen.
Sure.
From all the years sober I have,
Yeah.
and then you always hear people that go back out or start drinking again or get
Right.
high
Yeah.
again. That everyone says I can't do it successfully. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's hard, and you know I've had a few nights where I drank too much. You know, you don't do anything else. You try to limit it to 2 drinks. You know, 3, and once you get past 3, it's just not pretty.
Yeah. Once you see a mogul and you want to strangle him, you're like, all right, I gotta quit.
That was really bad. Although the best thing was like, then I was all full of myself, and I'm dancing with these girls and jumping on like some pool thing, and then I've like slipped, and I just like hear this boom, 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 boom. And like I'm underwater. I'm like, oh shit, I just fell underwater.
Are you embarrassed the next day?
So embarrassed. Yeah.
You are like, oh, what did I
There's a
say to
few of those
Harvey?
things. Yeah, I've had my moments where then my partners are like, bro, you can't, you know,
But you know what?
kick some up and come no huge musical act in the nuts.
Did you
just
kick a
can't do
musical
that.
act in the nuts?
Yeah, that's a whole other
Which
story.
musical
No,
act?
I can't.
Wait, hold on.
I'm in so much trouble for
which
it.
musical
Yeah,
act
but
was
you
it?
apologized, right?
I did
Yeah, you
apologize,
apologized.
and it was totally my fault. And
Sure. What kind of music was it?
Who'd you apologize
Wait, when you
to?
kick someone in the nuts, it's your
I
yeah,
did,
of course.
it was a love tap. It was like,
Oh.
You were playing around. You weren't being. You were just
No.
fucking around.
Right.
well, yeah.
Were they rock or a rap?
No, it's still good. It's all right.
What instrument
I'm
did the person
sweating.
play that you kicked?
Was he cut or
They're
uncut?
singers.
Singer.
They're singers. Okay, so how many years ago, roughly? 10 years?
Like 5 years ago.
5
Okay,
years
so
ago.
they're singers.
Yeah.
Oh, and it wasn't. Okay, who's the super group? It was the fucking. Who are those really good looking super group? The one that was that.
Yeah, I kicked all of NSYNC in the mall. All the Backstreet Boys.
Chris Kirkpatrick went down. Who'd you kick in the balls?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
Justin.
man. It's sort of out there, but
yeah.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Troy,
already out
could you
it
Google
was
it?
my fault. It was totally my fault.
Right, you're not-
And
you're taking
I'm
ownership.
Also, like, why did I bring it up? This is the kind of stuff
Right.
that I don't understand why my mind does it. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Why would I bring that up?
But who else? Who else? Who did you kick in the ball? We don't want to look for it. If it's out there, we'll find it. But
Wait.
Justin Bieber.
You kicked Justin Bieber.
I didn't kick him in the butt. I just tapped his nuts with my.
Why'd
he
you-
was standing in front of me. I was behind him.
Why'd you do that?
Why did I do that? It's the question.
But why
Why would I
but
do
why that-
something like that? I'm
There's
so
Justin
dumb.
Bieber,
He
like-
flicked me in the head with a thing, a bottle cap,
okay.
and I thought, we're joking around. So he's like chased him.
I'm gonna flick you in
It
the
was
nuts with
funny.
my
yeah,
shoe.
and then he walked out, and then I flicked him in the nuts with my shoe.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Did his
Oh,
people?
Justin Bieber asked David Arquette to leave his 21st birthday
really?
party. Oh, that's a bummer. And Justin Bieber was like, "You got to get out of here, man."
I got bounced. Yeah, It's totally my fault. That's another moment of he has his 21st birthday party at a club we're representing, and I'm the asshole at the end of the
You
night.
kicked him in the balls.
That was shortly before my second
Yeah.
return.
That's a great rehab story. What did you do? Oh, I didn't show up for work. I kicked Justin Bieber in the dick. Let's hear from this guy. That's whose story I wanted.
This was at your club, or one of your
We're
clubs?
part of a club, Omnia in Las Vegas, and the Heart at Omnia, the VIP room there.
So you're like, we got Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Let's not
it's
fuck
just
this
so
up. And
dumb,
then, well,
dumb,
listen,
dumb.
We have to
I'm
wrap.
so-
We have
I'm
to wrap.
sorry.
Our show is over.
Okay.
But we have to promote properly. David Arquette is here to promote Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
Yeah.
Now it says season 1 returns.
It's the first season. We did the pilot, and this
Right.
is a revamp of the 70s show that Sid and Marty Krofft did.
October 13th on Amazon.com. And of course, it's David Arquette on Twitter. If you want to follow David, he'll be promoting it. But that's great. October the 13th on Amazon.com. I'd love to see you. You're a funny guy, man. And you're just
Thanks.
really
I'm
honest.
a big fan. Thanks so much.
Oh, thanks,
Really
I wish
nice
we'd
to
had. I
come
wish
in.
we'd had more time with you, man.
Yeah.
Anytime you're in New York, just come hang out.
Thanks.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
also have Amanda and Jack Go Glamping. That comes out on November 10th. It's
Okay.
a really cool movie with Amy Acker. I just want to mention that too.
Awesome.
Come back before that if you want. We'd love to
be
hang with
great.
you.
Yeah.
I'll be in Vegas Saturday at the Tropicana Hotel and check out the Chip podcast.
Yes.
This Friday and Saturday, I'll be at the Arlington Cinema Draft House, 3 shows. And then November 6th, Would You Bang 'Em at the Village Underground. You have to come. It's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of great comics, great judges. Come out. Me and Bonnie, Would You Bang 'Em, Village Underground, on November 6th.
And HighlineBallroom.com, October 24th for Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast.
Great. Thank you, David. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Voss,
Yes.
always a pleasure.
Thank you guys.
We'll be